Friday, and we're talking all things the budget. As you know, everybody has a key or something to say about it. I'm joined in studio by a very, very special guest. He's an economist. His name is Kelvin Chisanga, and it's such an honor to have him because we're discussing his takes as an economist on the budget that was presented on Friday by the Minister of Finance, Dr. Kotwane.
Morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you too?
I'm fine,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah,
You look so calm, so I'm expecting calm vibes as we discuss this budget.
Well, yeah, it's quite a stimulus budget, some good colors. So obviously, yes, that's the calmness you're seeing.
So everybody has a rating, if I have to say. How would you rate the budget?
Well, of course, I'll rate it at 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's quite going toward stimulating or resuscitating our economy in a way. Although we've seen that it's got a component of about 7%, fiscal deficit in projection. But obviously, it's not running away from the projected target, which is actually a very good thing.
Okay, so that means, according to you, the parts that were not so favorable are lower than the parts that you'd say were more beneficial for the Zambian people.
Well, yes, because obviously we've seen that there has been even a strong political will in regards to trying to put up a moratorium on the debts, as well as also trying to restructure the debt facility as well, which actually is a very good thing altogether. And even just considering the change of things as well, it brings a lot of vibe and energy to the economy. Yeah.
I love that you've touched on our debt situation, but isn't it ironic that we have a budget going as far as 173 billion, considering the space that we're in with our finances?
You may be interested to know that what is current with the current budget, what is currently happening with the current budget actually is that we've got a very huge deficit. We've almost actually projected to go up to somewhere like 8.3%. And if you look also the direct composition of expenditure columns, we've gone beyond the expected or projected limit, of which our current budget in the current scenario supposed to have spent at least something in the range of 90 billion Zambian kwacha, but we've gone to about 112 billion Zambian kwacha. So that brings up, an overlap of about 25% from the original projection. So in our essence, we found that the whole total budget for this year, which is 119.6 billion Zambian kwacha, is actually going beyond 16% in terms of expenditure line. So that brings a different shape altogether. So coming to the actual budget itself, which has actually been pronounced for next year, I think it's well able. The 10 billion US dollars translated the budget, it's actually going to cover some of these pieces that we have actually been seeing. Yeah.
So now we're in November, today's the 1st, and we, according to the Minister of Finance, by mid-November there should be an agreement between Zambia and the IMF. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a quite imperative case that we should all look to, because obviously when you look at the IMF package, they come with a lot of substantial help in some way, because obviously when you look at the IMF also, they have a part where they do also a credibility on our sovereign rating, and also not only that, also even just the support, the 1.3 billion, which they are also pushing into the economy, it also signifies a good stuff on our side. If you look at the composition of our loans, more especially the Euro bonds and the Chinese loans, these are basically non-concessional loans, which are very harmful to the economy. So we basically need to look at concession loans, which can actually give us a breathing space. And that gives a different dimension altogether, because there, with that in mind, we'll be able to actually have a good aggregate demand in the economy, and will spark economic growth as well.
Okay, so if you had the chance to make any changes to the 2020 national budget, 2021, sorry.
2021 or 2022?
2022, pardon.
2022, obviously.
What would you have to be specific, considering we have the debt situation, still at play, and we also have people who are crying, literally crying for help with regards to the economic situation, with regards to high cost of living, unemployment. All that is at play.
Maybe with that, I'll tell you, we have to make a very good comparative case here. If you look at the budget aspect of 2021 and 2020, actually, you find that the 2020 budget had a lot of deficit, and of course, we've been reducing. So if you look at the 2021 with the projection of 2022, the problem that is there is that we have put so much burden on infrastructure, which is actually under economic affairs.
Yes.
So what we need to do is that we need to slow down some of these infrastructures so that we look at what sectors can bring food on the table. So we really need to define our structure of loans so that we're able to see how best we can bring the money that we are going to contract from the IMF or other stakeholders who will be able to give us credibility to get some more, to ensure that we put now the money into the proper economic benefit so that we're able to learn the economy. The wheels of the economy should be able to learn faster like this moment so that we're able to counterbalance the effect that we have been having.
All right. Lastly, your biggest takeaway, what do you think was by far the most interesting pronouncement made?
There are quite a number of colors. Quite a number of colors. But the big one, though I would second it with education, the big one is CDF. It has never happened in the history of Zambia to have such amount of allocation. More especially when it is going beyond 1,000% in terms of allocation. That signifies that for sure this budget is growth, job and development driven to the grassroots budget, because it's speaking to certain levels of needs. It's just basically going to the grassroots level, constitution-led growth projects. I think it's something that is speaking so much of what has been lacking in the economy. If you may allow me just under a few minutes.
No problem.
If you look at the composition of Mandev constitution in this case, it has got about 4 words. Imagine you're given about 1.6 million to divide about 4 words. That comes to about 400 each word. So that does not give a lot of benefit in terms of uplifting people from poverty. What has been making Zambia to be where we are? Because a number of us are poor, and also the population is growing faster, and the economic growth is actually at a very slow pace.
Yes.
So we need to ensure that we have an equivalent level of people having wealth so that we are able to move forward. If we can do that, then we are able to move forward.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Tsanga.
Sure.
All right, so you heard it for yourselves. So much more still to discuss with concerns to the budget. But for now, we'll take a quick break.